Good morning, and welcome to Gruber Power Services Power Hour. My name is Claude Dixon.
And I am Elvis Venter.
Well, hello, everyone. Here we are again. Another week has gone by, another week of life. And here we are. This is, what is this? Episode 18, I believe it is. We've been going at this 18 weeks, and we've got 646 YouTube subscribers, Elvis.
Ooh.
And when we sat in here last Friday, we were at 626. So we've increased by 20. And again, what we want to do is thank our YouTube subscribers. We also want to send out a shout out to TikTok and Instagram. And because we know we have viewers there too. I'm not looking at that as hard myself personally, but we know you're out there and we thank you for viewing and chiming in and so forth.
It means a lot, yeah. We're growing the platform. 18 episodes, that's more than certain big network shows that can even run that many episodes. So we're working, we're coming through.
Yeah. So just to add to that a little bit, we've, as Elvis stated, we've done 18 shows. So if you take that 646 and divide it by the 18, you come up with 37. So we're averaging on a weekly basis 37 new subscriptions a week. I think that's pretty darn good. But I want to roll this into our Halloween raffle. We're going to kick this off today.
Claude, do we want to be good or what do we want to be?
We want to be exceptional.
We want to be great.
Yes.
We want to hit that Coach Prime level.
That's right.
We want to do as much as we can. We want to push. We know we can do. We saw that one day when we were trying to get 500. And I'm just going to go for it. I think between me and you and the push we did, we brought in about another 80 to 100 within one day of subscribers.
Well, if you break
at least,
yeah, if you go down to hours, I mean, really, when we got into work at 7,
yeah,
and the podcast was at 10, I think we picked up like 75 people within that 3 hours. And that wasn't all we were doing. We were actually working too. I don't consider this podcast work. I consider this fun because we're interacting with other people outside of our company, which is really cool.
Because you're the COO.
Yeah.
And I'm an account manager. I'm here working with customers, making sure projects are going through, adding sales. So this is something that it's still I consider a part of work because of the prep and how important it is and the response. If we didn't get the response we have with 500, 600 subscribers and the people that comment, I wouldn't consider this work, but I consider it beyond now, and I consider a real important thing. And you do it all the way or don't even.
I agree. And one of the secrets, though, talking about work, for me, one of the secrets is if you can get what you call work not to be work
and be fun,
and then it becomes fun.
Yep.
Then you've arrived, I think, in terms of your psychological state of mind. Of course, we never arrive, but you know what I'm talking about from a psychological state of mind.
Makes it a lot easier.
And that's exactly how I look at things. I have fun. When I'm here, it's a challenge, and I love that kind of stuff.
And I can attest to that because, you're a friend of mine, a mentor, you're my boss, and you put on so many different hats and approaches with me. You challenge me, and then you direct me, and then you let me work things. So you are like that. And
I'm not your boss.
Energy.
I'm not your boss, though. I'm your coach.
Oh, you're my coach.
Yes.
Coach Prime coming through.
Yeah, I got out of the boss thing many years ago.
But we also have a great production group here, staff that does so much. Yes, sir.
Real quick, got an update for you on TikTok. You have 515 followers.
Wow.
And on Instagram is the biggest platform so far, 2,643.
Wow.
2,000? Who are these people?
So 1,300 followers for you, 1,300 for me. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Who are these people?
And that's a big testament to you guys. Jesse, Richard, Cass, Aaron. You guys have done so much, and you guys constantly challenge us and help us out and work with us. That's a big part of what you guys have been doing, too. It's not just... Listen... If I had my own personal Instagram, I wouldn't be having no 26 hondos. No. To me, it's really what these guys do, day to day, all the time. When they come and look at me, and Richard or Aaron gives me the stink eye and says, we got to go make some shorts. And I was like, I don't wear shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll do them.
All right, so let's get back into this.
Richard wants to say something, Richard, really quick.
I was just say boo.
All right, let's get back into this, what I mentioned about a Halloween raffle. So we're going to get this challenge kicked off today.
Ooh.
Our goal and I used a keyword there. I said our goal.
Our goal.
So it's not just the 2 people you see sitting here. It's also all of you, the 646 of you, and the 2,000 on Instagram, and how many on TikTok? 500 and something?
Yep.
Okay. It's all of us. We're going to try to get to 1,000 YouTube subscribers by the 27th of October,
Okay.
which would be our last show in October. So we're calling it the Halloween raffle.
And it's 2 days shy of a month right now.
Yes.
So we're coming into the game.
Yeah. So if you could, Jesse, put in image 007. We're going to put up image 007 because we're going to be raffling off a prize.
We're going to see a picture of James Bond.
Yes. If we hit 1,000 by October 27th. So remember the if. And that's an aggressive goal because, like I stated earlier, we're averaging 37 new subscriptions a week. So you do the math on that, that's 4 weeks. We're talking about halfway there. So we would need to pick up another 150 at that clip.
Okay.
So you pretty much have to double that to like almost 60 a week. So there you go. That's just a picture of the TV that we're going to raffle off right there.
TV.
You can see it. There
I
you go.
thought you were just going to let him go on a walk in the park in the forest, but we're going to the TV.
Yes. Nice flat screen there. If we hit 1,000.
Did you hear that, Pete? We're going with an LG UHD TV. I want to be on the other side of
And
this
we're
one.
gonna keep-
I want a TV.
And we're going to keep the size a mystery.
Ooh.
Okay? We're going to keep the size a mystery. Just know that that's there, okay?
You know what Evan asked? If he
that?
can miss school that day and he could jump on YouTube and he could be part of the raffle. He wants a
can.
TV.
He can.
I was like, buddy, we already have a TV. And I was like, I want my own. And I was like,
You can. Who's ever watching
yeah,
is
he's going to be
eligible.
at school getting in trouble.
Yeah. All right. So that's that raffle.
Mm-hmm.
We got really, really good comments from last week's show when we were talking about service, what our internal perspectives are and how we deal with our customers and work with our customers. So we only got through half of those talking points. And we had a special guest on by the name of Justin Brownlow. So
Yeah.
what we're going to do is 2 weeks from now, we're going to bring Justin back.
Continuation.
And we're going to continue on
Let's
that
go.
service track and finish that up because there were some key talking points that we did not get to because we were, involved with what we were talking about that we want to go ahead and finish up. So we'll be bringing Justin
I
back.
could see a third episode with him. He's so fantastic and
Yeah.
he's just so great.
Yeah.
I was very, plus I look up to him. I
Yeah.
think he's shorter, but like
Yeah.
being an experience,
Yeah.
he is fantastic. So for me, I was very, very excited. So I'd love to have him on a second, third episode. He's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah. So Friday the 13th, plan on Friday the 13th for
Okay.
Justin to come back. And then also in October, on October 27th, the day that we actually do the raffle, if we're at 1,000, we have another a surprise guest. And this individual has been selected from our YouTube audience. So this is an outside,
wow.
yes, this is an outside person that we're going to bring in that helped us kind of get up and running in terms of, gave us criticism, gave us feedback on how we could do things,
Guidance,
a
direction,
little better.
yep.
And this individual has a broadcasting degree. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I want it to be a surprise. But on October 27th, we're going to have this individual show up here and appear, flying in from San Francisco. Okay?
Man,
Yeah.
I
All
love it. And on that day when we raffle off. So by technical default, he won't be able to get it on the TV.
No. But he's getting a nice surprise too by coming on the show.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
and all that.
We're gonna have a great time with
and
him.
he's excited about doing
I'm
that.
super excited for that.
Yeah. All right, you ready to get into it now?
I mean,
All right, here we go.
better now than never.
Yeah. So our topic today is the state of the UPS industry. And for those of you, we're not talking about the brown trucks. We're talking about uninterruptible power supplies, right, Elvis?
Power supplies.
That's what we are talking about,
That's
right?
what we're going for. No special. The special delivery today is we're talking about that.
Right. Okay, so we're going to start with that, kind of a big picture view of the industry, where it's at, and where it's going. So, I want to start off with CAG. What does CAG mean? CAG.
Is that an award show?
No, what does that mean?
Oh, sorry, that's SAG.
Yeah, that acronym. There's always acronyms when you get ready to present numbers, but basically CAG is the compound annual growth rate of the industry. So
how it's growing.
yes, this industry is being projected to grow between now and 2030 by 7.1%, which means absolutely nothing, okay, until you put a dollar value to it, right?
Okay, I was going to say, it means something to me.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
means something to comment.
7.1% of what, okay? Might sound like a big number, but if you can't put dollars to it, then what does it even mean? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about revenue growth. So right now, this industry sits at an $11.2 billion value. If you look at the industry worldwide, it's about $11.2 billion. They're thinking it's going to grow by 7.1%, which takes it to, Elvis, $13.8 billion.
I want the billions.
$13.8 billion.
I mean, I'll take the billions any day.
Yeah, so that's huge. And a lot of this is being driven, a lot of this growth is being driven by the Asian Pacific market, which we're going to get to in a minute. I'm actually going to put up a photograph of what that is, because the first thing you think about is China, obviously, but there's a whole bunch of other countries that are mapped in there where a lot of this growth, like 3/4 of it, is going to be taking place within the next 8 years. That's kind of, when I hear that, I kind of like shudder a little bit, because where are we at? What continent are we on? We're on North America, right? And 3/4 of the growth is going to take place in the Asia Pacific market.
But that's still amazing because we have so many contacts. I mean, we're global too. We don't turn down business.
Yeah.
I won't turn down a customer if he's in a different country. We have ways to work with that and supply to them. So for me, that still makes us a competitor.
Yeah.
And 8 years, great. I mean, I have so much. Certain account managers have so much years left in the game. Like Justin being 42, me 8 years,
What
great.
about me?
We'll see.
What about me? I think I'll be.
I'll have you on that episode.
I don't think I'm going to be here 8 years from now. I mean,
Yeah, the way you're taking along and trucking, I think you'll be fine.
yeah. Hey, by the way, I'm old enough to be this guy's father.
Young
Okay.
father. I mean,
All right.
young, 21.
This guy's got a lot
20.
of years left. But let's go on. So we're talking 13.8 billion. Let's call it 14 billion
14
by
billion.
2028, right? So you look at what we're
That's
talking
in
about.
5 years.
Yeah, you're right. 5 years.
8 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
You're learning my math. Come
yeah.
on.
So if you look at what we're talking about here in terms of the type of UPSs, we're talking about standby.
Okay.
We're talking about double conversion. Right?
Interactive.
Right, and line
Yeah,
interactive.
line interactive.
So that's how they have the market broken
Those
down.
are the three main ones. Anyways,
Yes.
those are the ones that are utilized the most.
Yes,
I can
exactly.
see that.
Yes. And then the capacity that we're talking about is anything, there's 3 brackets basically. So you have less than 50 kVA,
Yep.
which we operate in that space.
A lot.
And then you have 51 to 200 kVA.
And then the big dogs.
Yes. And we operate a lot in
We
that
do.
space. And then we have anything greater than 200 kVA. So that piece, that's how the segmentation is done. That's what they're looking at in terms of where the value is. Believe it or not, they're thinking, these people doing the forecast are thinking that standby UPSs,
You take the cake.
will not take all of it, but take a lot of it. And I got a challenging question for you. Why do you think the standby UPS is going to overpower the other two?
Me personally, I think it's because if you have a good generator, then it's not so critical
Yeah.
to where I have a standby and it just comes on, and within a few seconds, a minute or two, just pop it on. So I could see that because standby is not so critical.
Right. Exactly. But here's the real thing. Do you remember COVID-19?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know you're gonna say
Yeah.
because of the way the business has shifted and from home and stand by the smaller
But
KVA
here's the thing.
UPS.
Here's the thing. It hasn't stopped. Most people
No.
think it stopped. It hasn't.
No.
I'm not talking about COVID-19. I'm talking about
Okay.
people working from home. Okay. A third of the workforce transitioned to working from home.
They have.
And you know what? The majority of those folks never came back. They're still working
don't
from
want
home.
to. Yeah.
Unless you work for Elon Musk. Okay. He told those folks that
Stay home.
if you don't get back here, then
Stay
guess
home.
what? You don't have a job.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But for the lion's share of them, there's
Yeah.
people still working at home. My sister works from home.
Well, now
She's
they have
still working
virtual offices. They have everything, in between that they can cater to people. I know so many, even people in the medical, to a certain extent, they work from home. They could take information, they take emails, they can take tests, and they can results. I know a guy that worked out of his home completely for X-rays.
X-rays?
Yeah. When they
Wow.
would do x-rays, there was one person at the office, and then they would do x-rays, and then they would send everything to him, and he didn't have to go in anymore. So there's so many ways that the transition makes total sense. If you're going to have a home-based office with smart ups, which we talked about when we auctioned, we gave one away, raffled one off. Smart ups makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I looked into it a little deeper, after reading this, because this is top line information, and they're saying that this trend, working at home, is going to do nothing but increase.
I agree.
So that's the reason why they're thinking the standby UPS or even the line interactive UPS is going to be where
Which
it
is fascinating and actually excites me because I was afraid when I was still working in the COVID era. Maybe 1 to 2 out of every 5 to 8 phone calls I made was temporarily out of business. So I was a little bit scared because at the old employer too, I didn't really sell much smart ups. So I was like, oh my gosh, they're taking away all the UPSs. If they're working from home, they're not going to need them. But now knowing that you can still provide smart ups and companies are going to provide it for their employees, I'm very excited and to know that it's shifted. And it's great to see the technology of UPS that it's so flexible. Yeah. And it's so not cookie cutter. I mean, that's one of the big words we constantly use in a lot of stuff is that it can provide so much. So that's exciting to know that, I'm going to need one eventually. And if, one of my biggest dreams is living in a nice house with an acre or two and having some off-grid options, and that's where UPS would come in.
Exactly, and you just hit it right on the head. If you look at the segregation, how they have that broken down, the number one thing is residential. That's number one. That's where a lot of the cells are going to go, followed by commercial, followed by marine, and data centers is like in the middle, because you have telecommunications after that, and then you have healthcare, and you have industrial. All right, so you would think in how we operate, we would think data centers is like where it's going to be, and it still is. There's still going to be a lot of business in data centers, but residential and commercial is number one. Number one in terms of how they segregated it.
Yeah, and with data centers too, because of the co-locations and because of the cloud, it's balanced out. It's not so heavy dependent on UPS as it was. It's still a crucial part, and I don't ever see UPS is being phased out anyways. So yeah, I agree with that.
You guys just, Claude, what you were saying? Yeah. The data centers, Facebook just opened 250,000 square feet in Mesa, and they're going to do another 1 million over the next 5 years.
Yeah, let's see if we can get them some UPSs.
Do you know the name of the company? Who'd you say?
Facebook.
Okay. Facebook. Meta.
Yeah.
It's actually Meta.
Right?
Now.
I learned that. I forgot. I was like,
all right, you want to hit those?
Leonard Hodges. Fashionably late. Better late than never, bud. So great to always have you on. Great wealth of knowledge. EV fan. I need that TV for my guest bathroom. I mean, to each his own. If you want to put it on the throne room, go ahead and do that. Eric, I can't say his last name.
Who? The EV fan. He doesn't even know what size his dang thing's going to be.
He don't care. He's going to hold it. It's going to be like a laptop, a tablet on his laptop. See? I don't know. Whatever. We'll put it on the wall in his shower. Eric, how do you say his last name? Pettingill. Love. #love double conversion UPS. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's what we use probably the most, and that's what we're very dependent on. We provide a lot of double conversion and UPSs. So I love those because of the LX and the PX, because it falls into that. If LX or PX lived in one of the other two, I'd probably go with wherever they sit. Yeah. Because of how much I like those. So yeah, double conversion UPSs are fantastic.
Yeah, and those are typically used in the big operations.
I provided one for a hospital. I mean, so many different for a law firm, all types.
Yeah. So back on the market size, real quick. If you look at the geography, that's another key thing to look at. There's basically five spaces here in terms of geography. You have North America, you have Europe, Asia Pacific, Africa, and South America. That's how they've broken this down. And then if you look at the drivers of what's driving this forecast, data centers worldwide and the introduction or integration of the lithium-ion battery.
That's a game changer. It's such a big deal.
That's a big deal there. The other thing, too, is the virtualization and cloud computing. and the multi-cloud and network upgrades.
Yeah, clouds they're so big deal. I mean, Amazon, Google's offering to get cloud certified as an individual and literally just learn that world and universe. So cloud is very strong.
Yeah.
You see the pros and cons of it.
Yeah. Jesse, you brought up Facebook and that data center that's going in. You think of that's going to be a massive data center, right?
Oh, yeah.
And, and if you look at the numbers, only like 25 to 30% of the investment is going into North America. The other 2/3 is basically in the Asia Pacific. So you just think of the scope of the projects going on overseas versus here, versus the investment going on here.
Because even the one you mentioned, Jesse's huge.
It's huge for us, yeah. There's apparently over there we're in Mesa where they're doing the stuff. There's a whole corridor of different companies going in over there. But yeah, it pales in comparison to some of the other places.
Yep. And it's still powerful. I'm very curious to see what they're going to use. Are they going to use lithium? Are they going to use a combination? Are they going to use lead acid? What will they go? Will they go with one as their frontline UPS and battery style? Or will they have a combination? I'm curious. With Facebook, I'd expect them to go with the top of the top, but I am still very curious. Yeah. Those are, man, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Data centers, they're so important. They're so big. They're probably one of the most overlooked.
Yeah.
We know them because we're so familiar, but there's so many people that don't understand. We'd be nothing without a data center.
Yeah.
There's
We'd be nothing.
Couple of questions from IT manager about data centers up there too, or statements.
Go ahead, Claude.
Tesla Powerwall installations are going to move data center support into the home. I think there's an example of that. I believe that's Pete brought up where he came in that special announcement. Remember when he came in? I think that's what he was referring to there in a prior podcast. Another one from the IT manager. AI demands and growth is going to push for much larger data centers and co-location growth.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Yeah.
And for co-location, it's more logical and very easy for them to just hand it off to someone that specializes in that. That's the whole point of the co-location. So I could see that with companies growing, new companies emerging, co-locations are so huge. And then EV fan, AI for sure will change the game in data centers. Do quantum computers use UPS?
We'll have to Google that one. Why don't you guys put that one into Google?
Let me check.
Yeah.
I can check that too. That was his question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, while you're doing that, if you look at the market constraints, the operational cost of the UPS is a constraint. You find it?
Yeah, so I'm trying to find it right now. So quantum computing for its processes uses the laws of quantum mechanics to solve large or complex. Right now, I think it can, because if it's still a quantum computer, it can. Because right now, it just uses the fan of the computer itself. But in theory, if it's still a computer, if it's still an electronic
it's still plugged
device,
in, yeah,
it can. And you would just have to get the specs of what that quantum computer pushes out, so you would know if it'd be single phase, 3-phase. But yes, from the technology that I can see, it runs on 26 kilowatts. So yeah, I would say yes. From what I can see really quickly, I would say it does and it should.
Yeah, and then we got another comment here on YouTube. All computers need UPS. The most powerful computers are usually running the most critical applications with an expectation of 100% uptime.
Banana Man asks, will Gruber Power branch into serving Tesla Powerwalls?
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, we don't like to say no.
Yeah.
We're open. We want to grow. We want to evolve with the AI that is evolving. We want to be as close as possible to it and, on the same page. So yeah, I would say, why not? I wouldn't turn it down if I had a request.
Right. And then just back on the market real quick, I mentioned some of the constraints. There's a couple of them. The operational costs of the UPS and, of course, battery maintenance. Yeah.
We saw.
Yeah. You look at that's like when the lithium ion battery is going to be so impactful, because the amount of maintenance that you're doing on that is minimal.
Very minimal.
Versus the VRLA battery.
Yeah, and the wet cells. And I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. So let's head back real quick to the types of UPSs. There were 3 of them that we mentioned. So we want to go back to the standby UPS. The growing demand of consumer electronics is really what's driving that. And I know your son or sons probably have one of these at home. You guys have a gaming station at home?
No, we don't. We're not gamers. I don't want to offend anyone, but we're literally outdoor fanatics and soccer and that. So we're not as gaming heavy as others would be.
And you know what's driving all that? The home entertainment scenario. We mentioned it earlier. And the gaming, you know what's driving that? What drove it to the point to where it is now, to where it's so prevalent is COVID-19. People were getting bored at home. They were getting bored at home. So now you have this growing demand. And of course, the standby UPS would be the best application for something like that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too is just the least expensive option. If you look at all the options for UPS, the standby UPS is the least expensive.
It's the least because it falls into the smart ups.
Yeah. Have you like sold many of those?
Smart ups?
Yeah, just standby UPS. Have you sold a ton of them?
Yeah, I've sold a few times. Yeah, I sell them all the time. I have one customer buys about 4 or 5 a year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when they need them, I don't say no. I'll find them straight from OEM or we have them in stock. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So let's put in. I want to see what image 201. Yeah, let's put in image 201. We mentioned that this is the market right here. 2/3 of the projected revenue over the next 5 years is going to come from this market right here, the Asia Pacific market. And it's more than just China. It even includes Australia down there at the bottom. And again, those letters are way too small for me. I can't really read what those. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so you can look at those countries now. South Korea.
You want to look at the bottom or which one?
Yeah, I'll just start at the top. Mongolia, Japan, South Korea, China is huge. We know that. India is huge. We know that. Burma, Pakistan. You don't hear about a lot of those other countries, but that's where 2/3 basically of the investment is going to go. Is in those countries
Taiwan,
right there.
The Philippines. How many islands do they have in the Philippines, and how much they have there? Could be provided.
Well, here's how you know what's going on. You know how you know what's going on? Think about it.
They have internet.
Except for our company. No, when you call technical assistance or when you have a problem with something and you call their helpline.
Call there.
Exactly. The person on the other end of the phones is in the Philippines.
Yep.
Okay, so don't think for 1 second that there's not investment going on
it's huge over there.
Yeah, you mostly get people that are outside of the continent of North America.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we already know we're not going to get into them with the labor costs.
But isn't that strange to you?
No, this time no, because of how strong Asia is as a whole group and Indonesia and the cost for them to do their job, which that's a different story we're going to go into, but it doesn't surprise me because of the population. But we got to remember the population is huge within those countries, and in Indonesia, in India, in China. I mean, so the population is going to require a lot of jobs, a lot of work, and they're going to go into, and IT for the new generations is one of their, the most attractive. So that's why they're going to, I'm not surprised why it's growing at such an exponential rate because of the growth, the new generation that's coming through, and they would rather do anything IT. If it's social media, look how heavy prevalent right now social media is. TikTok, those people are going to go with it and just do so much. It makes total sense to me. Makes complete sense.
Okay. Segue here real quick.
All
Jesse,
right.
can you put in image 777?
A good holy number.
Triple sevens.
Lucky number 7.
There we go.
Okay. How do you run your operation? If I'm an IT manager, okay, and I want to go home.
You sent this to me.
Yeah, and I want to go home and sleep at night. Okay, the reality is what you see on the bottom. That's the reality. Okay, because rarely is there a strategic plan. Okay, and I'm saying strategic. I'm not saying just coming to work and you just do what work does that day. I'm talking about removing the pathway of obstacles that are in front of you. So do you want the guy riding the bicycle above with minimal obstacles, or do you want to be in the environment below? And some of this is just self-induced. You know, you ever been in an environment where you just self-induced?
The way you ask that question, it makes me want to answer differently.
Okay.
Because you said, do you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
Is it self-inflicting, the reality? Or is it just...
Well, it's kind of both. I know where you're going. Is it an investment issue? Because you can't get the money
out of your hands,
out of your control. But you know what? How much of life is just flat out self-induced decision making? You know, how much of it is that?
You're going philosophy, philosophical on me right now, like a bit of philosophy.
Well, look at the picture. Yeah. It's not just one obstacle; it's multiple obstacles.
I mean, the bottom one looks like, you know, American Ninja Warrior. So, and then the top. I mean, anyone's gonna say the top. Okay. And you sent me this, and I was like, of course. I actually said it's kind of both for me. There's times where it's self-inflicting. I should have caught something, I didn't. And then there's times where it's out of my hands, out of my control. But of course, I want to be, of course, I want the top. I want it to be as smooth, and I want to be A, B, C, D, and we get it done and we provide. But I'm not upset if the reality sinks in. And as much as, if I can remove as many of those obstacles, great. Problem solving, fantastic. But I'm not so opposed to, if they happen, they happen, because how do you learn from it? Okay. How do you get through it and learn from it? And then as you evolve and learn, then you become that type of top, the top one. Of course, you have to put cycling because you love the cycling.
Okay.
Well, I like that.
Well, it's never that smooth.
It's never.
We know that.
Never.
So when you quote 100% uptime, okay, true, that's just something that you're striving for. You're striving for perfection. Okay, but the reality of it is how can you get that customer to 99% uptime or 98% uptime? Because that's the reality of the situation.
The closer, the better.
We have customers that are at 50%. That could be potentially at risk at 50% because of XYZ reason. My point is that when we talk with our customers, we are communicating, hey, our job is to get you to...
Agreed.
Okay? How can we remove these obstacles? Here's what's going on in your operation. We're consultants, basically. Here's what we think you can do. All right? And most of the customers, they buy off on it. Most of the time, it's a money thing, so they have to do it over time. But I thought that was
But I'll say something too, just because it's me, and I like to open up another can of worms. I don't mind showing my customer that they think it's the top, but behind the scenes, the reality setting in, and I have to go through all that to make them think I'm delivering that, because I'd rather have them know that we're giving them the best we can, but I'll jump through whatever hoops if I have to. Of course, if it's per my customer, per me, whatever the case is, I would rather have it as easy as possible. Who wouldn't? But that's not the nature of the beast.
Okay. Another question for you on the reality image.
Okay.
All right. You have a UPS that goes down, that's no longer supporting the critical load. It's in a casino. Surveillance, right? All the cameras are gone. Yeah, we need that back up there again, Jesse, that image. All right. What piece of that image do you think the customer is in? If you looked at each one of those, I know which one I would pick.
Either in the fire or the shark.
That's not a fire, man. That's hell. That's what that is. All right.
You never told me that.
That's hell right there. That's not a fire. You got to go a step further.
They're freaking out. They're losing their mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
they're panicking.
And what we do in our customer service, I always stress, communication. Even if you don't have the answer,
problem solving. We're working on it.
Yes, you're going to call that customer. You're going to touch base with that customer. You're going to touch base with them.
Justin touched on that last week. Yeah. It's like if you're having a reality situation and the UPS is completely fried. Hey, we're working on getting you a temporary. Working on getting you a rental. We're working on getting until we find a full solution for you.
Right.
It's how we respond is really big deal. Because and you know what, this goes in life too, because my son got injured one time and he was like panicking and freaking out. My wife comes in storming out, oh my god, and I was like, guys, breathe, relax. And I said, Valine, let me take care of this. And I was like, it doesn't look that bad. It wasn't anything broken or this and then, like it was a cut. My oldest when he was young, and when he saw how calm I was, he he copied that and he embodied it, and then he called. Same approach with our customers. If you're like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. I'm so sorry. Let me. Okay,
can't do that. Can't do that. No. Or you don't know what to tell your customer.
Exactly.
Okay. Now,
agreed.
One other question before we leave this slide right here.
I love it.
And this one is internal. Okay, when you look at that slide and you look at obstacles, what piece of that slide would you pick? I know which one I would pick.
For the obstacles?
Yes, internal. I give you a hint.
You're going to pick the spikes.
No, the shark, man.
I thought you were going to pick the rocks.
Wait,
No,
you're
shark.
You're going to pick the shark.
Yeah.
But you hate swimming.
It's what you don't see. It's what you don't see in your own organization that creates obstacles. And it's normally the things that swim underwater.
I just associated that you hate water and you're never going to want to be in water. You said that to me at the Grand Canyon.
Elvis, that thing right there creates obstacles
the worst.
For the customer, okay?
Oh, yeah.
If we don't clean that up, if we don't fish those things out and get them out of the organization,
go ahead,
okay?
fishing out a shark.
That thing right there. Okay, enough of that. Let's go.
That makes sense. What you can't see is the dangerous part. Well, yeah, that's a great point. And you can't see certain things inside your UPS.
Right.
Fair.
Right.
Fair. I thought you said, which one would you want to be in?
No, thank you. Okay. All right, let's get back on subject here on point.
All right.
So hey, Jesse, we're good with that slide. So we have 6 UPS trends we need to understand because we're talking about the market in the future, right?
Trends. Okay. I like trends. I want to say I'm trendy.
Yeah. And I already put up image 777. That was the Asia Pacific market, but they're thinking that remote monitoring is like a major trend right now that a lot of companies are going to. We actually have right now going on remote monitoring project in 5 different states right now going on. One customer, but 5 different locations.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, where we're putting in a battery monitoring system. You know, like what are your thoughts on that? That's like the number one thing, remote monitoring.
Yes, remote monitoring, I look at it twofold. I look at the battery side of remote monitoring, and you have the sensors and the monitoring system per the batteries, and then remote monitoring of the system of the UPS where you have a backlog or you have a software where you can access per your laptop or your computer. I'm all for that. I mean, it takes care of the customer and it takes care of us, where when I just ask them, hey, can you send me a logs snapshot? Can you send me all that?
Right. The other thing too is that it allows our customers to be a bit more proactive.
Way more proactive because they know this battery has 20%, that one has 40, 50. Way more proactive. And that's why it's monitoring, because then you know when you put in your batteries, you know when you put in your power modules.
Right.
You know, I'm 100% for that. I love it because it's a fail safe. It's I like that.
And you know, it's all about security. You know, if you can do things proactively
all day,
the operation becomes much more secure because you're eliminating the problems that are going to pop out if you're not monitoring them.
I totally agree with that.
And the second one, which I think is huge, because we're seeing this more and more, is smaller sizes. The industry is slowly transitioning to smaller, efficient UPSs, small footprint.
I agree.
Okay. And if you're an entrepreneur and you want to get going with something new, why don't you go ahead and start up a floor company?
Yeah.
Okay. Because what's happening right now in the industry is a lot of customers are ripping out these monstrosities of UPSs and putting in a real nice compact modular UPS, and the floor is left in shambles. Okay. So if you want to get started up, new business, you might want to look at that niche right there. But yeah, smaller sizes, compact units that can easily fit in the small spaces. You're going to say something?
Yeah, you're speaking to the physical attributes of the UPS, which is very important. 2 stories I have. First one is here in Mesa. A customer had a 40 kVA Liebert and power, 10-foot footprint, super long, and then, a good 4 feet, 5 feet depth. And we provided an APC Symetra PX 40K with an extended battery cabinet, which was only 4 feet. Now from 10 feet, you minimize 4 feet and only 3.5 feet in depth instead of 5 feet. And they love it. It's 40 kVA, and it provided the same power and up even more if you wanted to. Up to 40 and plus 1. Then I had a customer saying they showed me the current unit and add 5 feet. and that was in there. And they were asking for a large kVA, and I was like, wait, well, look, like you got to give me more. Now they gave me specs. Like, oh, we only need 40 kVA UPS, but I have such small space.
Yeah. And what did you pull out of there? Like, what was the monstrosity that you removed?
From the first one was a Liebert and Power.
Okay, 2
And
battery
then-
counters.
Yeah, and then this one was a I want to say it was a Schneider, like 80 kVA, big boy. And you know what I put in there? A 93 PM Eaton, 50 kVA. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's all they needed.
And
Once they did a new, they tested a new load, and they saw they only needed that much.
Yeah, because the other thing too, outside of the reduction in size, is also the efficiency.
Yeah.
You know, the energy savings.
Yeah, and that had everything. It had the batteries, it had the bypass, and the UPS. And I mean, it was sleek. It's so, and the 93 PM is a newer UPS, so it looks so beautiful. It was, 5 feet high, 2.5 feet wide depth. Like it was, they love it. It's in there, it's operating, and that's what you're talking about. That is so cool. Smaller size physical UPSs, where you can do an 80 kVA. You don't have to do a 9390. Sorry to say, but those are becoming older monsters, prehistoric, and they're very big boys. And it's better if you get a Symetra PX 80 kVA. 100 kVA is the same footprint.
Yeah.
So it's such a important thing, and I would do the same thing.
The other thing too is the third thing here, as far as 6 trends we need to understand in the industry, is image 99. I have an example of this, and this is the mechanical energy flywheel technology.
Let's speak to that. Do you want to respond to those two? Or
Maintenance on wet cell video coming up.
Okay.
That's from Eric Pettengill out in the field there. Thank you, Eric. Eric Pettengill again. UPS seems to only fail between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. You got that right.
And then Pete gave the best answer. That's when all the drunks are hitting telephone poles on their way home, Eric.
Yeah.
Not cool drunks, but you're giving us work.
Yeah. And the thing is, you're giving us work, but also it gets back to what we were talking about last week, you know, our technical assistance line and how we are able to deploy and how fast and nimble we are in those scenarios. And mostly the moment of truth. That's the moment of truth.
That's the moment of truth. 12 a.m. Like you were saying last week, Elvis, do you sleep? And the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, he got me. Everyone sleeps. Yes,
of course you sleep. You're an account manager.
One eye open.
Your job is 9 to 5. You go home and you're snoring. You leave it up to us. You leave it up to service to fill those calls.
I'm super grateful.
Not you though. Not you though. All right. So you got that up, Jesse? The mechanical image 99. The mechanical energy flywheel technology is coming back. Coming back.
That is up.
Yeah, there it is. That's just an example of what a flywheel looks like.
That's not a hamster wheel?
It could be. Yeah, you can see what that looks like. That's
a big boy.
Yeah, it's in a utility room. Looks like it's down in the basement somewhere. Just wanted to throw that out, show you what it
Why
looks
this,
like.
Claude? Why flywheel?
Well, it's a green option. You know,
green?
Yeah, green.
Yeah,
green.
but then
it's
how is it
mechanical.
green?
It's mechanical.
But how's it green in the footprint? Look at that thing. It's so like awkward.
Understood. But you know what? You only need 10 to 20 seconds of this thing running to get you over to generator.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's 10 to 20 seconds. Look how much it takes. What would a 2, 3, 5, 10, 1 hour? What would a 1 hour runtime look?
Yeah.
The whole room?
Yeah, you'd have to have a whole farm of these flywheels.
Oh my goodness!
But the big thing is that you know it's green. They last a whole heck of a lot longer than the electronic option.
Yeah,
and we're talking 3 decades here or more.
They can last 20 to 30 years.
Now the downside is what? You know what the downside is? Other than the space that it takes up, there's another downside. You know
downside is downtime.
Well, maintenance. Okay, this thing right here is mechanical. Yeah. So it's got ball bearings and everything.
Goodness.
It's got oil. So you got to go in on, you know, a frequency.
Like a grandfather clock.
Yes.
Imagine trying to dissect. That's the. So I was telling you, remember, I think it was yesterday, the day before, I got approached by a company to represent their equipment before I came to Gruber. And I was just kind of hanging out. Didn't have any jobs, but I got approached and interviewed, and it was a company based out of Germany, but they were looking to have heavy presence in the U.S.
They were German?
It's the Germans. Well, I'm half German, so I was like, let's go.
What? I'm learning something new about this guy
every day.
Every single day. Now you're half German, but go ahead with your story. I need to hear this.
So, and I was not eating a chicken schnitzel while I was interviewing. But hey, I am. My last name is German. It means winter. Vented is winter. I say it with so much class and panache.
I hate to say this, but I thought your last. I didn't want to tell you this, but the whole time I thought your last name was Bulgarian. Okay, I did.
Bulgarian.
So. Yeah.
Someone else said I'm all these Ians, but at this point I ain't even Romanian. Yeah, I am. My grandfather was half German. I was born in Romania, but
all right, so on with this story here.
So I'm with the German UPS flywheel.
Yeah.
And they interviewed me. And first thing, I started asking them all these questions that I was like, look, I've been selling UPS for years, but you guys trying to fill an entire warehouse? Because they're massive. And they were showing like a 150 kVA UPS. And I kid you not, it was probably from this side of the wall of where we're at the studio to where that rack is. Like, it was like 20 feet. And for them to upscale, if you buy a 100 kVA UPS, that's it. They don't want to hear about it. They can't downscale. They can't do nothing to it. If you buy 150, it's massive. So it is cool, but there's so many things. You need a special trained mechanic to support it and service it. It just can't be anyone.
But guess what?
Can't sell me on this one.
No, guess what? There's no batteries though.
There is no batteries.
There's no VRLA batteries, so you're not doing maintenance. You're not buying batteries. You're just using a spinning motion to generate energy for 10 seconds, so you can go on generator.
Yeah.
That's it.
So this thing won't work for you much if you don't have a generator.
Yeah.
You're in big trouble.
True. But this thing is going to last 30 or more years.
True.
The typical, and that's one of the things that we didn't hit in the last podcast that we're going to talk about is
V.
O.
Oh, E-O. I don't even know. I'm like so flustered.
EOL.
EOL?
End of life of these electronic UPSs. Now, this is a salesperson.
Claude, come on, you're killing me, Smalls.
I'm jumping around.
You're messing but
EOL. I mean, end of life. So you talk about the electronic option. You're talking 12 to 15 years. That's end of life.
But we live in the technology era where people want to change their phones every 2-3 years. They want to change their UPSs after a few years. And you know what? The other thing is, it's cool, end of life. But my question to that is, I'm all for end of life stuff. I like them to last 15, 20, 30 years. But will it be supported? That's my first question. Will you support that end of life? Because there's things, so many different types of devices that end of life, but they're not supported anymore.
That's how we're going to get to that.
That's a tricky one
podcast.
Too. Because it's like, it's end of life for 20 years, but we only support it for 10. I'm like, well, my math doesn't add up.
Yeah, but I still go back to the flywheel. I still go back to this because
you can fly high with the
UPS gods, Elvis, the UPS gods are saying that this is the trend. This is the trend.
I don't listen to the UPS gods. I don't believe in those. I believe in one God, and it ain't those UPS bums. Like, they change all the time. Claude, I'm going to give you a hard day. I don't care. You can't sell me to the flywheel. No. The only thing I know it's good about it, I used to have one of those watches that you shake with kinetic energy and flywheel. Those are pretty cool, but that broke too, and I couldn't fix it.
Okay, so you're opposed to the flywheel. That's awesome. That's great.
It's okay. It's just there's good to it. Look. I mean, Eric, what was he saying? So true. Centrifugal force. IT manages kinetic energy chemistry. Says, come on, Elvis. Even I knew that.
Ooh.
She's giving me a hard time on the EOL.
Yeah, the EOL.
I thought she was saying AOL.
What? I know. I cross that over sometimes. Now, number 4, another trend in the industry, Elvis. I think this is a great one. Decentralized static bypass switches and controls. Decentralized, not inside of the unit. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know we have the one on the wall. I know we have the one on the bypass cabinet next to it.
Those are good.
They're good. But they're talking about being able to operate this thing way somewhere else, okay, where it's like, decentralized.
But I mean, are you trying to like break me?
No,
I'm like scratching my head right now.
No.
Because even when I read this, I was like, say what?
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm talking about, these are trends in the industry. So that's where the industry is moving. Do we sell flywheels? I guess we could.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to say no.
We could get up to speed on that.
I'm very familiar, and I have a decent amount of knowledge on flywheels, so I wouldn't stray away from that. I try to tell them, hey, look at this, and I would give them, if they want it, I'm not going to say no to my customer on that. If that's what they need and that's what's desired, and it'll fill their need, I'm for it.
Yeah.
Now with this, with the you're making up stuff
here.
Yeah,
static switches, decentralizing them. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I got so many questions on this one. What are they like?
You're doing it already. You're doing it already.
How do they connect them? Is it Wi-Fi?
No, let me give you an example.
A cable?
Okay, let me
they
give you.
run all the way from one street to the next?
Let me give you an example right now.
Go ahead.
That you're using already.
Oh, no.
You're using it already. It's decentralized. Your security system. Okay? You can turn on the cameras in your house while you're eating dinner where? Your favorite restaurant. In another state. You can turn on that camera from a decentralized location and see everything that's going on in your house.
But that's a security system.
I understand that. But it is an analogy.
I'm
it's an
asking,
analogy.
Yes, and I'm asking the technology behind it. I want to know. I want to understand the technology for that bypass switch. How does it? Is it Wi-Fi connected? Is it Bluetooth connected? Or is there a cable going? Because it has to connect to that to shut her down.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Man, you're throwing all types of wrenches at me today. Good Lord, have mercy.
Well, this one isn't a wrench.
I like it.
Let's go to the fifth one here. The new markets.
Okay.
What's trending in the market from a new market standpoint? You know what the number one thing is? And I'm not surprised about this one at all.
Me neither.
Is retail shops.
Yeah, of course.
Why would that be one? Why would that be one?
Sell.
Well, no. People are starting their own stuff.
All day.
They're starting their own businesses.
All day.
And they have been for a while, but even more so now.
Yeah, the businesses are, and the retail is big because everyone's running.
And people simply don't want to go to the office and work, 40 hours a week for someone else. So they're doing it for themselves. They're starting their own
Everyone
thing.
wants to be their own boss. I mean, that's the dream, right?
Yeah. And then, of course, back in our thing is, investing in healthcare facilities, and schools is a very, very, very big one. Look at this one right here. We mentioned it already.
Oh, but you skipped 5. You went to retail shop 6. You skipped 5 on me. I was working on 5.
No, it's going to come back to 5. Vectors.
Oh, you are?
Vectors.
Okay,
no,
space vector. No. You went to new markets. You went to 6. Okay, that's fine. Let's talk about 6. So I was like, wait, I'm working here. Yeah, retail shops make sense. Healthcare facilities all day.
Yeah.
Schools. Schools are
big.
But
they're saying new markets. Not existing markets. They're saying new markets. So
that makes sense.
That's an opportunity. When I hear something like that says new,
that's big opportunity.
That's an opportunity.
That's growth.
For us.
That's growth. And schools are big too because they're always opening up new schools and new school districts and in new locations, especially when the population starts going up in certain areas. That's where they want to start having retail shops, healthcare, and schools, because where that chip factory is going through now, because they're building so many homes, they are opening up a whole new they opened up a retail store, they opened up
you're right
grocery stores,
exactly. It's going to expand out
here. By where I live, it's just opening up but first it has to be population, because you have to have somebody to service. So if the people are there, that's when you start building these. And new markets I love. I mean, I get my customer from last week was a new location. They're not a new business, but they're a new location. So they're brand new, and they're a law firm. So I loved it because I got to go into a new space and provide a very updated UPS.
And we prospect. One of the key things we do on the front end from the sales standpoint is we prospect. So if the industry's saying, hey, this is where it's going, hey, boy, let's get on the prospecting bandwagon. All right, what do we have here? Okay, nothing new. So let's go to this.
Wait, are you skipping 5?
Yeah, we can
what
come
did
back
I
to
do
5.
to you today?
We can come back to 5.
Okay, but now my OCD's kicking in. You want to skip a number?
Because we only have 7 minutes. I want to get some of these in.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even look at the time.
Okay, so here we go.
So much fun.
So here we go. We're in the Did You Know segment, and we're gonna go a little different path here. It's gonna be more like trivia. The last 7 minutes. Okay.
I love this.
So, question.
Production staff, be ready. Wake up, boys.
First question is the longest river in the world. Can someone name the longest river in the world? We're going to stick with water during this trivial section.
Is that the Nile?
You're correct. It is the Nile.
Wait. I don't know about that one.
Well, yeah, he's right. It's the Nile River.
You sure?
Yes.
Well, what if it's not the other one?
Well, there's debate that there's debate.
Today I'm all about just mess. Even the questions you've been asking, I just wanted to just let's go. Let's go different today.
Yeah,
Wait, it's not the Amazon?
Yeah, there's debate that the Amazon could be longer.
That's why I threw that out there, because they said there's no way of measuring the rivers in all of its totality because of branching waters and changes.
Yeah.
So they say it's the Nile.
So back on that, the length of the Nile River, of course, it flows into the Mediterranean Sea, okay, is 4,132 miles. It's longer than our country if you went from point to point in our country.
It runs through 11 countries.
Yeah.
The Nile.
Yeah. And the big ones are Sudan and Egypt.
Yep.
You know, it runs right through there. And that's pretty
through
amazing.
The Congo, through Africa, through Ethiopia. It runs through so many.
Yeah.
And what's another thing with the Nile
Let's put up that image.
Let's put
Jesse,
it up.
Put up image 1.
Let's go. Isn't that where you're going to go?
Yeah.
Per image 1?
Yeah, November. Bucket list item number 1. There you go, right there. There's a view right there. This looks more like it's AI generated. I don't think this is real, but it is a nice looking picture. The Nile River and then the pyramids in the backdrop there. Pretty amazing. This river is 4,132 feet.
I'm going to throw a wrench in your situation right now.
Okay.
We only have 6 minutes. What would I do to challenge you in front of everyone if we got to go a few minutes extra? Oh, you don't like that? Look,
whatever you want.
Well, for the did you know, let's tackle it. We don't have to go too much over, but I know we like to stay with the 1 hour. But if it's such a fantastic show, we got to give the people what they want.
Okay.
Claude. Let's not hold back.
Let's give them this one, because I think this one's going to trip somebody up.
I'm just saying, if it goes, it goes.
Okay. The largest lake. That's the next trivia one. The largest lake in the world.
Pleasant. Lake Pleasant.
Michigan.
Lake Michigan.
We got Lake Pleasant. We got Lake Michigan.
Nope.
Let's see what some of our viewers say.
Watch
Let
what they
me
throw us
restate
off.
that again. The largest lake in the world.
Yeah, don't go
No
Google on me.
No
Don't go
Googles.
Google. Come on.
No Googles.
Don't get soft on me. Don't you go dying on me now.
I'll give you a hint. It's not in.
It doesn't even have the name lake in it.
It's
That's
not.
a big.
It's not in North America.
I've swam Lake Michigan many times living there.
Lake Tahoe. It's not in North America.
What's the lake that Nessie's in?
Who?
In Scotland.
The
the Loch Ness
the Loch
Monster.
Ness?
Yeah.
Nessie. She gave her a cute name.
Okay, now the answers that we're getting on the screen there, those are all in North America. So this lake is not in North America. It's not on our continent.
Nope. It's closer to where I live. Ooh, big hint.
Yeah, there you go.
Big hint.
So let's go ahead and put in image 2. Image number 2.
This is going to tackle all of them.
This one got me because I didn't know it either. It's the Caspian Sea.
I was about to say Dead Sea.
Okay,
the Dead Sea.
No, well, the Dead Sea is not the Caspian Sea. The Dead Sea is like a peanut compared to the Caspian Sea. But the largest lake is 143,244 square miles. And
You can hike that?
It is an endormic lake. Somebody can Google what that means. And it's in the Middle East / Eastern Europe. And it's 92, the bottom of it is 92, actually it rests 92 feet below sea level. So you can look at all the major lakes basically in the world, right?
Yeah.
And look at that. The Caspian Sea dwarfs them all.
So that endorphic, what that means is there's no outlet. So that's why it makes it a lake. Because if it had outlets or if it had like rivers or that, it technically wouldn't, even though it's called a sea.
Yeah.
The reason it's considered a lake is a lake by definition is something that does, like Lake Mead, it doesn't have any outlets. It's, yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too. You know, you think of the U.S., you think of Lake Michigan.
All day.
Lake Huron, Lake Erie. I mean, they look like seas when you go there. I mean, there's a tide, there's everything, right?
Lake Huron's by Canada. I've passed. It's beautiful. It's
and
huge.
look at the difference, though.
Massive.
It's just a massive difference.
Man, it wasn't Lake Pleasant.
No.
I like that place.
No. All right. How about number 3? What's number 3? Trivia question number 3.
Ooh.
Okay. So listen to what I say here, though. The biggest waterfall in the world, the biggest one. There's a difference between big and tall, right? You know that when you put your pants on. There's a difference. Okay.
Ain't that the truth?
So the biggest waterfall in the world.
Ooh, this is, and I'm already expecting people to say, what do you guys got in the back over there?
The Canada one. What's the one over in New York?
Niagara? That was expecting for people to say. Ooh, someone's going to say it in There's only one natural lake in Texas.
Well, I'll give you guys a hint. Once again, the biggest waterfall is not in North America.
Nope. It's in a different world.
On a different continent.
Oh, that's
Is it Brazil?
That one is
No.
very close,
Did I
Eric.
shoot?
Eric wrote Angel Falls.
close though.
That is extremely close.
But no.
That waterfall is like number 2, and it's located in South America, I believe Argentina, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay, and that actually is the tallest
I didn't know this
waterfall.
one.
That's the tallest waterfall in the world.
There it is.
Victoria, there you go. Victoria Falls. Thank you, Lenny
Ring a
Hodges.
ding ding, you got it.
Okay, this thing is humongous in terms of size. Like when you walk up to it and you see how wide it is, there you go. Look at that image right there. Amazing, amazing. That, believe it or not, is the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe in Africa.
That's what heaven looks like.
Okay, that marks their border. That chasm that you see right there,
Man,
running
that's
through
beautiful.
both of those countries.
Look at that. Just glorious.
All right, let's switch up now to the rainiest place on earth.
I want to hear them in the back. I want to hear the production on this because I said one as a joke.
Amazon.
Seattle.
You said
Arizona.
Amazon?
Amazon rainforest.
Who
yeah.
said Seattle?
Excited.
That's what I said
So
to
we got,
him.
but listen,
It's gotta
but,
be
but
Seattle.
listen to that question: the rainiest place on earth, the rainiest
The
place.
rainiest, the most wet, right?
Yes.
The most wet?
No, the rainiest place on
The
earth.
rainiest? Oh, man, I thought it was the most wet. Okay, the rainiest place on earth.
On
It's got to be
Earth.
the Amazon rainforest.
So we got the Amazon rainforest. It's not in South America.
Nope. Surprisingly, I thought it was the Amazon. And then I said either Seattle or Portland. But it
Not
was
in
no.
North America. Not in New Zealand. Thank you, Lenny, for that one. Let's see if we can get a few more in here. Please don't Google it.
It does make sense, though. I'll say one thing. Pure humidity.
Florida? What?
No.
Not
Illinois.
in this country. Well, Texas would probably take the cake.
Actually, you're close.
Really?
Okay, Kauai is in the top 3. The little
Okay.
island
Yeah,
of
I was
Kauai.
gonna say Hawaii.
Okay? All right, so
Ooh, Hawaii. She says it
Yeah,
all like
Hawaiian.
tropical.
We out here.
Oh, yeah.
but the rainiest place on earth happens to be in India. Okay, the village is called Masaram. Listen to this.
Hawaii.
Listen to this. This place in India averages 467 inches of rain a year. A year. The average in the world is 39 inches. Okay? In 1985, this village logged 1,000 inches of rain in 1985. Can you please put up that image? Image number 4. And you'll see what it looks like to live in Masaram, India, basically on a daily basis. There you go, the wettest place on earth. There you go. So if you're, want to go on vacation.
Forecast said sunny.
Yeah. If you want to go on vacation, you like rain, that's the place to go right there.
Oh, my goodness, dude.
And then finally, if you all can't get this one, you need to go back to school. Okay, so
I'm not
the
going
largest
anywhere.
body of water on earth. The largest body of water on earth.
The ocean.
Just-
The whole ocean. All of it. The entire ocean.
Planet
All
Earth.
oceans. All 7.
No, there is like a specific.
No, there's a body. The largest body of water. See, look. Here's one body right here.
Okay.
Here's another body right here, and there's 4 bodies
Large,
over there.
big, small. You said the ocean. She wins by default. Got him.
Got him.
Come on. Come on.
The ocean. It's very, yeah.
There we go. Eric got
it.
The Pacific Ocean is 60. Listen to this, though. 63 million square miles. It's half. Listen to this one. It is half the free water on Earth. There's the image right there. Half of the free water on Earth is the Pacific Ocean.
She kind of got it, though. She said ocean. It's
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
It's north and south.
So I think that's
She
pretty
gets an
amazing.
imaginary gift.
Now listen to
Like
this.
whose line it is.
Listen to this about the Pacific Ocean.
Mhm.
All the continents on Earth. Okay, listen. All the continents on Earth
Okay.
can fit into the basin of the Pacific Ocean.
Wow. Inside.
Yes.
Wow.
in the basin, just in the bowl part, in the basin.
Wow, that's wild.
So that's pretty incredible. We have an incredible world here.
You want to hit Eric said Pacific. Highlander just came and said, you go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, gang. Kindness is always free. He must have just chimed in. Hey,
He
by
just
the way, Highlander, we did receive your data. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, and the other gifts that you sent us. What was that? A shirt? What were those gifts that you got from Highlander?
There was, I think, a blanket, a shirt, and then we weren't overly sure what the last thing was. We think it's like a gun cover.
Okay.
And then a book,
and a book.
Book on my people, Romania, which I started looking into it, but I was sick, so I wasn't able to go through everything, so I wasn't in for a few days. But I know we did get we got a box, and then we opened it up.
He sent us a binder.
Thank you.
He sent us a binder of some of the work that he's done in his past. I mean, it was really, really impressive.
Encyclopedia.
Yeah, especially that nuclear submarine.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, those images and certificates and things, very impressive. I appreciate you sending that in to us.
Mm-hmm. Richard, were you going to say something? Put you on the spot now.
We did also get the Popular Science magazine, just so you know, and I am looking into the article you wanted us to look into.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, cool. Thank you so much. Highlander, kindness is always free. Appreciate it. That was very kind of you. And it was free because we got it for free.
So you want to mention next week that you and I are... won't
let's what we got a few minutes. We can do what we got to
sign up our 2 replacements that don't know they were replacing us yet.
Yeah, we're going to offer them up for tribute. So next week, Wednesday, Claude and myself, babe, I'm telling my wife you could turn off the video right now if you're not going to get mad at me. We're going to the Grand Canyon. This will be my 7th trail at the Grand Canyon. This is probably your double digits, 12th, 11th? 13th. I was so close. And we're going to the 𝐓𝐢𝐦𝐞, hence the last part of that word weep, because it'll make you cry.
Yeah, and just before you head on, that trail is rated as one of the top 10 most dangerous trails in the world.
Very hard.
𝐓𝐻𝐦𝐞 Trail, Grand Canyon, North Rim.
Yeah. And we're going to be going on a 4 to 5 day excursion, hiking it very carefully, very prepared.
28 miles.
28 to 30 miles. Knowing me and you, all the extra exploring, and that we'll clock over 30 plus miles for those 4 days, 5 days, 4.5 days of hiking, and it's the peak time, and we're going to go for it. We're going to do, something. We've already done some amazing ones, and we're going to go for this one. We've trained. We've prepared. We're not just going in blind. We're not going in inexperienced. We're going in there as best prepared as possible between me and you. And yeah, so we won't be here, and we're going to have our 2 phenomenal hosts, Pete and Mark, and they're going to be hosting the show, and then we'll come back and we'll give an update on all the cool stuff, if you know what I mean.
Yes, that's going to be a cool show, and Mark and Pete will prepare whatever it is they're going to do.
Since no one touched on them too, we'll have many different rocks. Like I'm using my showcase hand. Many different rocks, like here, are better ones, or some cool stuff like this is what you've collected in your time. And then we got our little ship that you got me, and Mr. Vader's hanging out with us. So yeah, these are some of the rocks, if you didn't realize it, if they were here from Grand Canyon, right?
Well, Grand Canyon, Northern Arizona, petrified forest.
Okay.
There's fossils in there. There's a lot of neat looking things in there. I take a lot of pride in my rock collection. I'm very, very picky. I do a lot of research before I actually go hike, and able to find these specimens.
Beautiful. So that's what we'll be.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and close it out. Thank you for your attendance. Remember the raffle. Remember what we're up against. 1,000 subscriptions on YouTube. Take care.
Thank you.